All right, we're going to go ahead and write an equation to model the situation below. We're going to solve your equation and we're going to interpret our solution. So let's go ahead and underline those few things. We need to write the equation, we need to solve the equation, and we need to interpret our solution. Okay, so it starts with the perimeter of a rectangle is 26 centimeters. If the rectangle has a width of 8 centimeters, what is the length? All right, so since we are talking about a rectangle here, I'm going to go ahead and draw a quick picture because that's something that I want to do. Now, one thing we know about a rectangle is that opposite sides are the same. So I'm going to mark them to show that they're the same. And then I'm going to say when we talk about a perimeter, most of the time we're talking about the width of a rectangle. And we're going to be talking about the length of a rectangle, okay? The other thing we need to know is that we are talking about the perimeter, and perimeter means to add the sides, the total length when we add all the sides, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add them together. So we have 1L, 2 L's, we have 1W, and we have 2W. So what we have is 2 lengths around the rectangle, and we have 2 widths. So I'm going to 2 L's plus 2 W's, and that is going to give us the perimeter. Now the perimeter, that's the other piece they give us. They say, hey, look, check it out. The perimeter is 26. So this is what P is. So now I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the equation a little bit more. I'm going to say, okay, no, it's 2 lengths plus 2 W's equals to 26. Okay, and so what we have here is an equation in which we are able to draw that 26 into the picture. Okay, so let's keep going a little bit further with this. Now it says if the rectangle has a width of 8 centimeters, so a width of 8 centimeters, that means W equals to 8. Okay, so if W equals 8, we can substitute that value in. Now check that out. So I can say 2L plus 2 times the width, which is 8, equals to 26. And now we can kind of clean things up. So let's go back, and it says, let L represent, well, what is L going to represent? That is going to be our length. Let's go ahead and type that in the box. Okay, that is going to be length. Okay. And then what we can do is we're going to write our equation, which we're finishing up right now. And so let's clean it up. So this is our length. And let's clean up to get that equation. It says equation is 2L plus 2 times 8, which is 16, equals to 26. There's our equation. 2L plus 16 equals to 26. Now, we want to find the solution because the question is, well, what is our question? It is, what is the length? What is the length? So let's solve for L. And how are we going to do that? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that positive 16. We're going to use the inverse, which is subtracting 16. Okay, and then we're going to bring down that 2L because there's nothing underneath there. The 16 and negative 16 are going to create a 0. They're inverses. They cancel each other out. 26 minus 16 is going to be 10. And then we have to get 2 off of that L. So how do we get 2 off that length? It's attached by multiplication. We use the inverse, which is the opposite of multiplication is division. So we divide by 2. And L equals to 10 divided by 2, which is 5. Okay, so our length, the length is 5. Okay, so, and it is in centimeters. So I'm going to put 5 centimeters. Now, we can, of course, check this with Desmos. I love checking things with Desmos. We got to do things by hand, but we also got to check it graphically. So I'm going to go ahead and type in our 2 sides. So I type in the first side, y equals to 2L plus 16. It may graph it, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm put in the other side, which is that 26. I'm going to type in y equals to 26. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to look for that answer in where they're equal. And if you notice, if I look at that intersection, it says the first value is 5 with the total perimeter of 26. So there it is. That tells us that our answer would be 5. So x equals to 5, which is the same thing as our length. Now, once I've got that, especially for our assignments in this class, I'm going to go ahead and screenshot it. As soon as I get that screenshot in there, I'm going to go ahead and apply it to our assignment. So I can show that I've not only done this algebraically, but I can also do it graphically. All right, I hope that helps y'all out with setting up a perimeter style word problem, linear word problem.